What's a guy like that doing in jail? Zip ties?
Cuffs didn't fit him.
You guys recycle.
Alan Ritchson is once again giving fans something to get excited about with Reacher Season 4. The actor has shared a behind-the-scenes photo from filming and teased that he just shot what he's calling the best fight ever. Considering how brutal and intense the fights have already been across the series, that's a bold claim, but it also makes sense because every season so far has upped the stakes. With Season 4 currently being shot and the story pulling from Lee Child's 13th novel in the Jack Reacher series, Gone Tomorrow, it's shaping up to be another round of high-octane action that fans love. The photo Ritchson released is striking. It's in black and white and shows him as Jack Reacher looking grizzled, serious, and very much in the middle of something intense. His expression, along with the men in suits in the background, suggests he's probably in a situation where he doesn't belong, maybe disrupting a formal gathering or stepping into a confrontation he wasn't invited to. The fact that he describes the scene as the best fight ever makes the image even more exciting because it hints at just how wild this season is going to get. Ritchson also pointed out that every fight they've filmed this season feels better than the last, which says a lot about the effort the team is putting into topping themselves with each new installment. That photo also gives fans a glimpse into Reacher's mental state this time around. His heavier facial hair and hardened look suggest he's carrying himself differently than before, almost like he's preparing for a darker or more personal battle. If you've read Gone Tomorrow, you know the book puts Reacher in a lone wolf mindset as he investigates a mysterious death. As usual, what starts out as one odd event spirals into something much bigger, connecting him to a dangerous conspiracy and powerful enemies willing to go to extremes to keep their secrets safe. So when you combine that story with Ritchson's tease about the best fight ever, it feels like Season 4 is pushing Reacher to his absolute limits. It's worth noting that Reacher has never held back on action, and even though Season 3 ended with that incredible showdown between Reacher and the towering Paulie, Season 4 is promising to raise the bar again. That's saying something, because the poolside battle with Paulie was one of the most memorable fight sequences of the series. But the fact that Ritchson himself believes the new season's brawls are even stronger shows the team isn't resting on past victories. They're going bigger, smarter, and sharper with each move. So what does this mean for fans? Well, if Ritchson's hype is anything to go by, we're about to see some of the most intense fight choreography yet. That lines up perfectly with the way Gone Tomorrow plays out on the page, because the book itself is loaded with thrilling, action-packed events. Even though the show always makes adjustments to keep things fresh on screen, its commitment to honoring the core of Lee Child's novels is what keeps fans of both the books and the show hooked. But it's not just the fight scenes that are sparking conversation about Season 4. Another interesting change has already caught people's attention: the love interest. Each season so far has introduced a new romantic partner for Reacher, which is faithful to the books, where Reacher tends to form temporary but meaningful connections. Some viewers have found this pattern a bit repetitive, but others like that it mirrors the source material. Season 4 continues that tradition, but with a twist. In the novel Gone Tomorrow, Reacher teams up with NYPD detective Teresa Lee, who briefly becomes his romantic interest while helping him untangle the conspiracy. However, in the show, her name has been changed to Tamara Green, and she's being played by Sydel Noel, who fans may know from Glow. The switch is a little surprising, because the first 3 seasons kept the character names very close to the books. But when you think about it, it makes sense. Season 3 already introduced a character named Teresa Daniel, who was an important piece of the plot. Since her name was mentioned so often in that story, introducing another major character with the same name in Season 4 would have been confusing. By changing Teresa Lee to Tamara Green, the writers avoid any overlap and keep the storytelling clear. Apart from the name, nothing else about the character has been confirmed to be different. She's still a homicide detective, still a strong figure in the investigation, and still someone Reacher will connect with. The name change feels like a practical adjustment rather than a major rewrite, but it does show how the series is carefully adapting the material while making sure it fits the on-screen narrative. The fact that fans are already analyzing something as small as a character's name shows how invested people have become in these adaptations. It also speaks to how much detail the creators are paying attention to. They don't just want the show to mimic the books, they want it to feel smooth and logical within its own continuity. So while some book readers might bristle at changes, this one actually feels thoughtful, especially after how Season 3 used Teresa Daniel as a central part of its story. Of course, the fight sequences remain the heart of Reacher, and Alan Ritchson has shed some fascinating light on how they come together. Speaking with Variety about his upcoming movie Motor City, Ritchson explained what goes into crafting the perfect action scene. He used his fight with Paulie the Giant in Season 3 as an example, breaking down how he and his stunt double, Ryan Taryn, built the sequence bit by bit. According to Ritchson, their rule is simple but brilliant. Never repeat the same type of move twice in a row. If you use a punch, the next move has to be something different, like an elbow. If you throw an elbow, then the next move has to escalate again, maybe a headbutt, maybe a grapple, maybe a weapon. The idea is that every beat of the fight should feel fresh and keep raising the tension. That way, the audience never feels like the fight is dragging or predictable. This constant escalation is how they beat what he called fight fatigue, and it explains why Reacher's fight scenes stand out compared to so many other shows. That philosophy is exactly what made the battle with Paulie so gripping. Watching them slam each other around, underwater and above, it felt like every second brought something new and unexpected. And if that's the kind of thought process that goes into every fight, then it's no wonder Season 4 is being described as even better. Ritchson's method is subtle, but it makes a huge impact because it ensures that every action sequence feels like it's moving forward rather than looping back on itself. The great thing about this approach is that it doesn't just apply to Reacher. It's a blueprint that could elevate action scenes in any series or movie. But for Reacher specifically, it highlights why the show has become such a hit. Fans tune in not only for the mysteries and conspiracies, but also for the bone-crunching, creative, constantly evolving fights that make Jack Reacher such a compelling screen presence. Looking ahead, Ritchson's commitment to raising the bar suggests that Season 4 won't just repeat what's worked before. Instead, it'll keep surprising audiences with new ways to showcase Reacher's intelligence, strength, and sheer determination. It also sets a strong foundation for the franchise's future, including the planned Neagley spin-off. If the same philosophy is carried over, viewers can expect the same level of intensity and creativity across the board. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments section below.